Okay, so, hi, hello, welcome back to another Creepypasta story video. Today, Creepypasta we're going to be reading is called The Gift of Mercy, but before we get into it, I do want to say a few things. First off, the video is a one take, so if you do hear me stumble, mumble, fumble, and mess up my words, I am sorry. I don't have any editing software, so I can't really edit my videos to make them better. So I'm doing the best that I can. Second thing, please consider using code GOONS at gamersubs.gg. It's code GOONS. You get 10% off at checkout at Gamersubs. Gamersubs is pretty much the equivalent of Kool-Aid for adults. They have caffeinated and non-caffeinated versions of the drinks, and the drinks are really good. It comes in a little tub, kind of like Kool-Aid, and the flavors are amazing. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. The link is in the description. Okay, so outside of that, let's get into it. This creepypasta is called The Gift of Mercy. The message begins. We made a mistake, and that is the simple, undeniable truth of the matter. However painful it might be, the flaw was not in our observatories, for those machines were as perfect as we could make, and they showed us only the unfiltered light of truth. The flaw was not in the predictor, for its device the pure, infallible logic, turning the raw data into meaningful information without the taint of emotion or bias. No, the flaw was within us, the orchestrators of this disaster, the sentiments of those who thought themselves beyond such failings. We are responsible. It began a short while ago, as the things are measured less than 6 and 6 daylight ago. Though I suspect our systems and measures will mean very little by the time anyone will receive this transmission, we detected a faint radio signal from a blossoming intelligence, 214 delays outward from the galactic core, as photon travel. At first crude and unstructured, these leaking broadcasts quickly grew in complexity and strength, as did the messages that they carried. Through our observatories, we watch a world of strife and violence, populated by a barbaric race of short-lived, fast-breeding vermin. They were brutal and uncultured things which stabbed and shot and burned each other with no regard for life or purpose. Even their concepts of art spoke in conflict and pain. They divided themselves according to some bizarre cultural patterns and set their every industry to cause of death. They terrified us, but we were older and wiser and so very far away, so we did not fret. Then we watched them split the atom and breach the heavens within the breath of their single short generations. And we began to worry. When they began actively transmitting messages and greetings into space, we felt fear and horror. Their transmissions promised peace and camaraderie to anyone who was listening. But we have watched them for far too long to buy into such transparent deceptions. They knew that we were out here, and they were coming for us. The orchestrators consulted the predictor, and the output was dire. They will multiply and grow and flood out of their home system like some uncountable tide of devourer worms, consuming all that lay in their path. It may take 6-8 delays, but they will destroy us if left unchecked. With aching carapaces, we decided to act, and that sealed our fate. The Gift of Mercy was 8-4 strides long, with a mouth of 2/4 that in diameter, filled with many 4/4 weights of machinery, fuel, ballast, and will push itself up to 2/8 of the light speed of its onboard fuel, and then begin to consume the interstellar primary element. To consume interstellar primary element 2-2 to feed its unlimited acceleration. It will be traveling at nearly the light speed when it hit. They will never see it coming. Its launch was a day of mourning, celebration, and reflection. The horror upon the act we had committed weighed heavily upon us all. The necessity of our crime did little to comfort us. The gift had barely cleared the outer cometary halo when the mistake was first realized. But at the time, it was way too late. The gift could not be caught. It could not be recalled or diverted from its path. The architects and work crews, horrified at the awful power of the thing upon which they labored, had quietly self-terminated in the droves, walking unshielded into radiation zones, neglecting proper no-pressure safety or simply ceasing their nutrient consumption until their metabolic functions stopped. The appalling cost in lives had forced the orchestrators to streamline the gift's design and construction. There had been no time for the design or implementation of anything beyond the simple, massive engines and the stabilizing systems. We could only watch in shame and horror as the light of genocide faded into infrared against the distant void. They grew and they changed, and in a handful of lifetimes they abolished war, abandoned their violent tendencies, and turned themselves into the grand purpose of life and art. We watched them remake first themselves, and then their world, their fall, and the soft bodies gave way to gleaming metals and plastics. They unfined their people through an omnipresent communications grid and produced art of such power and emotion, the likes of which the galaxy has never seen before, or again because of us. They converted their home world into a paradise by their standards, and many 10/6 of them poured out into the surrounding system with rapidity and the vigor that we can only envy, with bodies built to survive every environment from the daylit surface of their innermost world to the atmosphere of the largest gas giant and cold void in between. They set out to sculpt their system into something beautiful. At first we thought they're simple miners stripping the rocky planets and moons for vital resources. But then we began to see the purpose of their construction. The artworks carved into every surface and traced across the system in glittering lights and dancing fusion trails. And still, our terrible gift approached. They had less than too daily to see it, following so closely on the tail of his own light, and that time, oh so brief even by their fleeting lives. More than 10 sentients prepared for death. Lovers exchanged their last words, separated by worlds and the tyranny of light speed. Their planet-side engineers worked frantically to build sufficient transmission infrastructure to upload the countless masses with the necessary neural modifications. While those above dumped lifetimes of music and literature from their data banks to make rooms for passengers, those lacking the required hardware or the time to acquire it consigned themselves to death, lashed out in fear and pain, or simply went about their lives the best as they could under the circumstances. The gift arrived suddenly, the light of its impact visible in our skies, shining bright and cruel even to the unaugmented ocular receptor. We watched as we wept for our victims, dead. So many deadless before the light of their doom had even reached us. Many 6/4 of those who had been directly or even tangentially involved in the creation of the gift sealed their spiracles with paste as a final penance for the small roles they had played in this atrocity. The light dimmed and the dust cleared, and our observatories refocused upon the place where their shining blue world had once hung in the void, and found only dust and the pale gleam of an orphaned moon, wrapped in a thin, burning wisp of the atmosphere that had once belonged to his parents. Radiation and relativistic shrapnel had wiped out much of their inner system, and continent-sized chunks of molten rock carried screaming ghosts outward at the interstellar escape velocities. Damned to wander the great void for an eternity, the damage was apocalyptic, but not complete. From the shadows of the outer worlds, tiny points of light emerge. Thousands of fusion trails of single ships and the world ships and everything in between. Many 10/6 of survivors in flesh and steel and memory banks ready to rebuild. For a few moments, we felt relief and even joy, and we were filled with the hope that their culture and art would survive the terrible blow that we had just dealt them. Then came the message, tightly focused at our star, transmitted simultaneously by hundreds of their ships. We know that you are out there, and we are coming for you. And the message ends. Okay, so that was The Gift of Mercy. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that creepypasta. I had never read it before, and I probably said all of the scientific words wrong, but hopefully you all enjoy. So yeah, we just like good old America and the good old world, we ended up nuking an alien planet. I think we did pretty good so far. But yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys here just for a little bit longer, but I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot to me that you made it to the end of the video. Thank you. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. I do have a playlist that should be popping up soon. It'll be on the left side of me. You'll see the creepypasta. Go check them out. I did a lot over the past year now of me just doing purely horror content. So hopefully y'all enjoy it. You'll see a natural progression of me getting somewhat better at all my stuff. But yeah, as I mentioned, please consider using code Goons. Go check them out. The link is in the description. I'm not sponsored, but if I do keep shelling out their content and their product, they'll probably sponsor me one day. So I'm doing that. But I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to me. Thank you for being here. And yeah, all my links are down below. Yet again, please consider liking and subscribing. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone. I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone. I noticed I was talking way too quick. My bad. But yeah, bye, everyone.